2 scores.
Well, Kotite, well, let's look at the field goal first. Looked like he might have hit the ground first, and yeah, he did. Wasn't clean, but it was far enough and good enough.
Yeah, and it was high and straight down the middle, and darn near went into that basket up there. I'd give him 5 points if he hit it in the basket. You know, the Saints are taking a lot of time in their huddle on the sideline on special teams, and the referee keeps whistling them to get out there, and they won't get out there. They're staying in the sideline. They did this after the safety, too. Everyone starts whistling, saying, get out there, and they won't come out. They got a lot of talking to do.
They can't take too long or they'll get a penalty. I don't know if that's going to be a big factor, but it would let Ruzick kick off.
Well,
and certainly kick it out of the end zone.
One thing in that situation, there's no clock running, so there's no time against that, but the important clock that's running says 2 minutes, 36 seconds with a score 29-20. That's what the Eagles have to protect and what the Saints have to fight against.
Boy, you think about the 2 games today, Houston and Buffalo, and what happened in that one. You get ahead and you start to get a little conservative. You start to try to protect that lead, and look what happened. Look what happened to Houston, and look what happened to the Saints here.
I think a big part of it here, what happened to the Saints, you have to give credit to the Eagles, too, because they came and they were given a little, but they took a lot.
They totally dominated the second half. No question about it. Ruzick's kick going to be handled by Newman. He's down at the 15. 15-yard return next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern Time. The NFC Divisional Playoff game. Washington at San Francisco. That's where John and I will be. And next Sunday, either New Orleans or Philadelphia, whoever wins this game at Dallas. Right now, it looks like the Eagles can start making reservations. Anything could happen, but
remember the last time they played the Cowboys, Emmitt Smith had a great game. We did that game, and I think that was Emmitt Smith's finest day. From Andy Harmon, just throws it on the ground. Hit hard by Harmon, knocked backwards. You know, Andy Harmon has made some plays today. He's made some plays as a linebacker when he would fake the rush and get up there. He's come in and become a pretty solid player. You see, he's number 91 there. He gives that slap to the, to the shoulder, to the left-handed shoulder, goes on inside, straight up at Hebert. He has been a big surprise and a very solid performer for this Eagle team. Of course, the loss of Jerome Brown devastated this Eagle team. Andy Harmon was one of the guys who stepped in to help. Here's Hebert back to throw. Picked off by Eric Allen. And get ready for Dallas. The Eagles, 35-20 now. 18-yard touchdown return by Eric Allen. Remember, it was Eric Allen that knocked down the pass in the end zone and finished for Gary Clark when they got into the playoffs against the Redskins. This team here is going to have to live with the fact they've never won a playoff game. This one, it gets a monkey off their back. They hadn't won a playoff game since 1980. Reggie White was telling us last night that he has never been on a championship team in his life. At any level. Yeah, he couldn't even get a baseball or a basketball team in high school, but this one has a chance. Ruzick's extra point is good. And the Eagles just taking over in the second half in New Orleans on the road, lead it by 16 points now. 2:17 left to play. You know, and I still think you go back to that play and that third down play that Reggie White made. I think that turned around the whole game. And again, the other guys had to do it. I mean, once Reggie helped it, the offense had to come and do it. The coaches and everyone had to do it. You talk about the play. Here it is. What happens is Reggie White's a third down play. He hits Hobie Brenner. That knocks off the guard pulling and the fullback leading, and they don't get the first down. I mean, just one man comes in there. Watch Reggie White, 92, knocks his guy back, knocks the guard back. That knocks the fullback off, and they don't get the first down.
And they had to settle for the field goal.
And that was the 4-point play. And then from that time on, it just seemed like the Eagle defense took over the game. The Eagle offense took over the game. And that was a turning point for the Eagles going up and the New Orleans Saints going down.
Houston led earlier today, this in the AFC. Houston led 35-3 and lost 41-38. The Saints led 20-7. Now they're behind 36-20.
And if someone's going to say in these playoffs, in 1993, when you get in the playoffs, you want to start off behind because then you'll win. Like that over thing, if a guy gains 100 yards, they win. A bunch of baloney, they won and they gained 100 yards.
Well, they can say what they want to. It'll be a lot of highlights, but this Eagle outfit has done a good job.
And that coach has done a good job.
Boy.
I mean, I think that Rich Kotite is probably the most underrated coach in the NFL. I mean, he wins his 10, 12 games, and no one even knows he's in the league. Of course, and Randall Cunningham is a relief guy, too. I mean, because he's been living with that stat that he's 0 for 3 in playoffs. He's not 0 for anymore.
Not anymore. Kick after the penalty, they would call for roughing the kicker, so he kicked off from 10 yards closer, kicked it out of the end zone, and so the Saints will start at the 20. 2:13 left to play. And someone said to us in the elevator this morning when we were leaving the hotel, if the Saints lose, I'm going to have the blues. There's going to be a lot of blues in town tonight.
Yep. And you can tell by the crowd, the absence of the crowd. This was a full house going crazy. And now it's about a quarter full house, very quiet. But the Eagles made them that way. I mean, the Eagles did it the second half.
There's Abair going to take off, not throw it again. Stopped by Mike Flores after he scrambled up the minute for 5 yards. And we get the 2-minute warning. The Eagles leading by 16 points, 36-20. That's where John and I will be. And the next Sunday, Philadelphia at Dallas.
You know, and then when you get to the playoffs, and we talked about this, 12 teams go in, 11 of them are going to lose the last game they play that year, and one team's going to win the Super Bowl. The high of winning a playoff game is as high as it can get, and the low of losing a playoff game is as low as it can get, because it's one of those things that doesn't go away. You don't have next week. You can't by Wednesday say, well, we're getting ready for next week, or we'll get them next week. Next week isn't until training camp.
And these guys have been at it. The finality, they've been going for this goal since last June in some cases. July, certainly. Abair back to throw. Incomplete in the end zone, intended for early. Booty was the Eagle defender. 36-20, Philadelphia leading. 20 seconds left. 20 seconds left in a season if you're a New Orleans Saint.
I'll tell you one thing, the Eagles are still hitting here in the end zone. I mean, they're getting ready for next week. The Saints are getting ready to go home, and I would think 36-20 with 20 seconds left, I would just run the ball out. I mean, there's no need to prolong this thing anymore or cause either team to get an injured player on the last down. I'd just run it out.
I doubt they'll do that. That's sensible. There across the middle. They have no timeout. Stopped by Eric Allen. Richie Kotite.
Hey, he knows he has it, and he deserves it.
Saints will try for one more. And the clock runs out. The Eagles, a powerful comeback. Defeat the New Orleans Saints in the NFC Wildcard game by 16 points, 36-20.
The Eagles did it the hard way. They were tough and they were strong in that second half.
They win in advance. And And so for John Madden, this is Pat Summerall saying so long from the Indiana Superdome, where the final score was Philadelphia 36, the New Orleans Saints 20. 60 minutes is next, except